Hey guys, it says I'm live. Okay, there. I was gonna say it also says that you can't see me. Let me just pop in. I see me. Yes, you can hear. Okay, cool. So, hey, welcome to Tuesday Tales. And I have clients today out and about, and also didn't have power at my house this morning. So it looks like power is back, and that'll be great to go home to. But we're coming to you from out in public. And I want to share with you today, we're going to talk about, you might have seen the writer of Rhiannon's post from last night, which was actually about the awakening. And I mean, this springtime, everything out there is awakening right now. If you're in my neck of the woods, which is northern hemisphere, right? Um, so we've got spring grass and spring flowers and things are just popping up, and we get to tap into our own inner magic, which is something that some of you have been doing through equine alchemy for a while now. Um, and some of you are completely new to it, and that's totally okay. But we're going to dive into tapping into the things that are there that have been right in front of us that we just haven't seen. And it's not our fault we didn't see them. You don't know what you don't know. And until you give yourself the opportunity to test it out and experience it, how can you know? So, um, the writer does share a lot of the ethereal stuff, the magic and the woo. And so I'm coming in today to share the practical side of the things that you're not seeing that you get to start becoming aware of, that you get to awaken to, as long as I can get my computer to share what I want to share, which I'm kind of trying to make it do. And it's not really wanting to cooperate. I need to share an image with you. Let's see. Why it doesn't want to play nice. I don't understand what's happening, to be honest. Oh, wait, this might work right here. Yeah. All right, let's see if that opens up and then I can share my screen. Here we go. Cool. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about assessment, logical assessment. This is kind of a broad topic. There is a featured post in this group about horse triage. And you can go in there and find where I can actually help you assess your horse with photos. In that post, there's actually a link to something called the Photo Markup Guide, and that teaches you how you can take good quality photos and actually mark them up yourselves and kind of look for asymmetry and tension in your horse that's actually causing problems. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to look at one picture, one angle, talk about this one thing because we only have 20 minutes. And I would rather take you on a deep dive than give you that broad instruction that you can find in the photo markup guide. So let's see if you see what I see. That is always the question. So if you see what I see in front of us here, we have this overview shot of a horse's back. This is one of the photos that you're kind of given instruction on how to take in that photo markup guide. Good. I see you see what I see. That's important. And in the case of in this case, when we're looking at this view, what can we learn from it? There's actually a whole lot we can learn here. The important thing is that if we want to get the most out of this view, if we want to get the most out of seeing, what's going on here, we need to make sure that the horse is square. And this particular horse is very sore. He is recovering from a bout of laminitis. And so we didn't really fight with him about getting him square at all. His front feet are very close to square, very close. Like, the toe just sticks out just a little bit on that left front compared to the right. So nothing that I'm like overly concerned about there. Now the hind end in this picture is not square at all. And that actually can still be telling in this view, knowing that he is not square behind, we can still learn something from this, okay? But to make really good assessments, we really benefit from having all the feet square. Okay. All right. So what we can do with this view, and actually, I can show you as we go. I don't know if I'll get my pen to work the way I want it to in this particular setup, but we can give it a whirl. Okay, so this is going to be really rough drawings because my screen is up so that my camera is on me. But we can see here, this is tuber coccyx, and that is like the point of the hip. Most of you would call it the point of the hip. We've got point of the hip over here. And we mark both of those. And this one actually looks like it's up there. So let me just erase this blue scribble. And let's try it. Again, my art in this case is not the best. I don't usually use my pen to do this. I don't usually free draw because it's rough. What I normally do is use something like the built-in straight lines in here or in Canva. I actually preferred Paint 3D, but it's no longer an option. So there's other things you can do that come with like automatic straight lines. But yeah, we can take these dots and then create straight lines from here, but also to the center of the withers. Okay, we're looking for a center. It's usually about the hairline. And from there, we can connect all of our lines. Again, this is really rough. If you use the straight line feature, it's a little bit more helpful. There used to be a ruler feature too, but they took that away. They're not helping me. And so what we're really looking for, and if we can, let's see if I have, I don't. This app is less than ideal for this. How can I move this? There we go. Got on my way. Okay, so what we can do here is see, are our hips even and level? Okay, if I have an actual straight line on here, what I would see is that we've got a little bit of this going on, which like where one hip is a little bit further forward than the other. And in this case, I expect that because he's not standing square behind. So that's just something important to note. What is interesting about this though is his hips up and down back here are pretty even though he's not standing square. And so that to me tells me that something's still not quite right behind, even though these hips aren't off that far and he is not standing square behind. The big thing that I can tell, regardless of what's going on in the hind end, because I don't really want to make too many assumptions, knowing that he's not square. The big thing that I can tell is how straight is his spine this way, which my line sucks. This is why I just use like the straight line feature in Canva, or Markup Hero was another one, and why I really liked Paint 3D. As opposed to this is just photo editor. So Paint in general would also be a good option. But we can see how straight we are here, which then tells us like, is there more horse on the left or the right? The other thing we're looking at is this here, that bulk does not quite match the opposite shoulder. It's not horrible, but it's not the same on this side. Clear up some of this mess. Okay, so when we're looking at this, we're marking hips, hip, center of withers, and we can see how much horse is on either side. We can also compare, and again, this is going to be altered and a little bit less significant because I know this horse is standing square behind, but we can also see the shape and contour of the barrel and how it varies from side to side. That line sucks. When I use my pens, I usually lay my computer flat and then I don't shake as much and it's easier. But we can just see how this, the right side of the picture is very straight and the left has a little bit more contour to it. Again, the way the horse is standing is going to impact this. This is why it is so crucially important to be able to see whether or not, or to know whether or not they're standing square. From here too, we can see how much force is on either side, but we can see tension and like different hair pattern through here. And this isn't just, oh, there's stuff going on like baby. Like, no, after working on this horse, which I just met him for the first time the other day, after working on this horse, this shoulder is a primary concern. After having my hands on him, the shoulder is a primary concern. And as is this hip, which is not a coincidence that this is the hip that's further back and that this is the shoulder that is slightly bigger and has more tension in it. That's not a coincidence. That is what we call a compensation pattern. It is telling me that something happened in this hind that started a problem before the feet had a laminitis issue, which is good to know because while he's recovering from laminitis, because we know what's going on in the rest of his body, we're able to make sure that we're addressing all the pain patterns, not just, oh, let's make him feel better because he had laminitis. Like, no, that's why I got called out, was because he was having trouble standing for the farrier. And that is 100% because his feet are sore, right? But also because his feet have been sore, his shoulders are locked up. Because, if you've ever seen a horse with laminitis, they walk really stiff. They're trying to keep the weight on their heels, so they have really stiff shoulders. That's definitely been an issue. But he had stuff going on before that, and nobody noticed. Nobody noticed because he was a really good boy. This is what I tell you guys all the time. Nobody noticed because he was a really good boy. And when he had a serious problem that could not be ignored, I get called out, and we already have stuff going on in this lumbar, stuff going on in this hind, restrictions really in all four legs, but which one is primary comes back to this left hind, and I can tell that in this picture. So this is why I use pictures. I didn't necessarily need it in this case because my hands told me what was going on. But it's good, like for you guys, like you're not using your hands. You don't have to feel that I feel. There's no reason why you can't be using pictures to help you sort out what's going on with your horses, and then giving you a better idea of what their current state is. Instead of just being like, they're not in pain. I would know if they were in pain. Do you know how many times I hear that? I hear that so often. I would know if they were in pain. It's not that they're trying to hide it from you intentionally. It's just instinctual that they're going to hide their pain from you. And so doesn't it just make sense that you have a tool like this that is so simple? It's not cost expensive. You take your phone, you go take pictures. The guide walks you through exactly which pictures to take, and a rough walkthrough of how to like draw these lines, the basic lines, and then lead you back to this group where you can find comparisons, where I have actually gone through and done the markups on these photos and done in-depth markups and what I'm seeing and what it means, right? Where these lines are used as comparisons, looking for symmetry, looking for tension, looking for balance. And I've already told you what it means when they look a certain way. So you can go through and you can compare what you've marked up in your photos to what I have already written out and get an idea of what's going on. Also, I offer you guys a free call and consult for 20 minutes. Like, have your pictures and we will talk. We'll talk about what's going on and what your horse's next steps are, because I know I can't help you all, but I can help you at least get your horse to the next step, right? So that is definitely an option. And you're missing out if you're not learning this skill set. It's super easy to learn. It just takes a little time and dedication. And I offer training in here for it for free. So this is a service that other practitioners are offering, and for a minimum of $75 to sit down and mark up your pictures and not teach you how to do it, just mark it up and tell you what's going on. I do that for you for free. And, I will mark up your photos if you post them, but you guys haven't taken me up on that. So I figured I would show you what's something that you can do to practically wake up into awareness of what's going on with your horse. Your horse is telling you exactly what they need. You're just not able to translate the message. And that's what I'm here to help you do, right? Between the rider and I, we want to help you to connect to your intuition and to become the kind of person that trusts yourself enough to accept the information that your horse is giving you. And I want to give you practical tools to be able to do that. Something so simple as taking 5 photos and then sitting down and marking them up. And quite frankly, you don't have to do the markup, right? If you just take the pictures and share them in this group, I will do the practical markup, and then we can have a call and I can show you what I'm seeing and why. I'm never going to just give you a blank recommendation and not explain to you what's going on with it. It's always an educational experience for you because, again, your horse is giving you the information. It's just you taking advantage and learning to translate what they're telling you. So I hope this was a little bit helpful. I can do more of these over time from different angles and different perspectives because there are, several different views that we're going to look at to gather a bunch of information. But this overview of the back can tell us so much about what's going on. And it doesn't seem like much from this one horse's perspective, but in that view, we can also tell that that pony's been a little bit overweight, and like how healthy his back is to be fitting a saddle to it. So there's people are wanting to get saddles fitted, and especially this time of year, people are ready to get out and get riding again. And you can just look at a back from that perspective and be able to tell, here, I'll pull the picture up again. I think I will. Yeah, I can. Let's look at it from the perspective of if we wanted to put a saddle on it, is this a healthy back to saddle? So, I mean, we want to address what's going on in the shoulder for sure, because when we've got asymmetry from side to side, what that is going to do when we come to saddle is it's just going to make it really hard to fit. It's going to make it hard to fit a saddle when this side has a lot more tension in it. And here's the thing too, if we address this tension, it's actually going to release the fascia and allow that muscle to come up. This horse doesn't necessarily have muscle atrophy here. We don't see a super unhealthy back. But what we do see is a little bit of tension, which is restricting muscle fibers, which is making it pushes in through here. So it's really tight and restricted through here. And then we've got more bulge up here because it's overdeveloping in that spot. When we do a massage, we can release that, and that's going to allow it to fill and fit a saddle better. The horse is never going to be perfectly symmetrical side to side. As we all know, perfection isn't a thing, but we can do our best to make it as even as we can get so that saddles are easier to fit, right? Now, I don't think I have an easy access picture because my computer is being wonky right now, but if this area were really sunken in on both sides, if we could see spine all the way through here, that would tell us this is not healthy back to be fitting a saddle to, right? And so often that's what I see. And people like to say, oh, my horse just has shark fin withers. No, the horse doesn't have shark fin withers. The horse is atrophy, and we can fix it. It's fixable. Yeah, everything is fixable. No, almost everything. So I really hope that you guys take advantage of the opportunity in here to use my expertise to learn this skill. It's something that I teach in here, again, for free. Like, I'm not going to give you a necessarily hands-on one-on-one lesson, but there are resources here. You're more than welcome to ask questions. You can post your pictures and I will mark them up for you, and we can have a 20-minute call and to go over what your horse needs and also help you to understand how I am seeing what's going on in the pictures. Because the end goal is always for you to be able to be more of the person today than you were yesterday, to be able to help your horse, because you are always, 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 always the best person to heal your horse. So there you go, guys. That's your Tuesday Tales for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will chat with you next Tuesday.